Voiceless. Same bad time, same bad. His name Peter Gold, Rock King, ex Kuta Kente, and I was.
What's going on? It's your man Keith Laporte, a.k.a. Sir Ortiz the Thor. What's good with you?
Introduce yourself again.
It's your man Joe.
Go
ahead, Keith. Go. Keith Laporte, a.k.a. Sir Ortiz the Thor at your service. What's going on? What's the...
Yeah, I'm Trooper Joe, and I'm here to keep it real for you.
Yeah. We always discuss a bunch of topics, but the obvious topic that we're gonna jump right into is the Orlando massacre. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So 100 people got, well, 52 people got injured, and like 50 people got killed.
Yeah, the number keeps rising. Yeah.
49 died.
49 died. And then now is, what is it, 52 though?
Yeah, got injured. Got shot.
So 49 died, and altogether over 100 people got shot at one event. What do you call this? Is this a terrorist thing?
It's a terrorist.
Is this a gun control thing?
It's a gun control.
A hate crime thing?
It's a hate crime.
Is it a mental health thing?
It's a serious mental health thing.
Alright. So we can go at any angle right now, right?
I want to talk about that. Did you see the post?
What post?
That I posted?
I don't think so.
No,
Talk about it. Don't ask me to see this radio.
My friend was posting about how just the media is pushing the terrorists,
Yeah.
and not going into, you know what I mean, the dude, his mental health, like we were talking about yesterday. And it's like, it's being controlled by people who aren't, you know what I mean, weren't even at the shooting.
So you hold this way. You
I
have your
mean,
hand right
I don't
there.
know.
And
I mean,
turn
like-
it to whoever's talking.
There's a lot of things that you can say with this, right? That it's like
And
you
if
say.
you want to zoom in, you gotta
I
use
mean,
this
like,
button right here.
is it Islam? Is it Muslim
My brother has
terrorism?
cancer. I-
Is like,
So you know how to
is
do
that
it?
what's going on?
Right.
But I think that's what people would, the power of, say, media and
Keep it a little bit over
want
to
you
the left because
believe
I put the
that
logo
we
down
have a
there.
threat inside
keep
of
your face
America.
over
You know what I
there,
mean? It would
kinda
want you
like
to be
that, so I
scared
can
and
put the logo
fear,
there.
you know, Muslims or Islams, or try to attach this incident, you know what I mean, to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think they're just, I don't know what they're doing, but definitely he shouted out some Islamic an alliance to ISIS. So, you know, everybody running with the
It's true. You
terrorist
just adding this on.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not hearing
True, but
nobody
it's
say
true. Like,
that.
I don't.
I'm just hearing the newscasters say this. I'm not hearing no testimony from people inside that said they heard anything about ISIS.
When he went on the phone and called the police said it.
Yeah. But the police have recorders, so you know, like when Mike Brown got shot, that whole recording of what that police officer was doing during that time was recorded. They played it.
Well, what's your point?
My point is propaganda. You don't know till you hear it, and if news is going to tell you, you know, you can't believe anything you hear, and that's just how
I don't know. I'm going with whatever it is. I think this guy had a lot of mental imperfections, and I think this guy was definitely doing this because he thought this was going to be some kind of thing that's going to get him into ISIS or ISIL.
And I don't think it had anything to do with ISIS.
I think this was a terrorist attack in the textbook definition.
But isn't a terrorist attack, you have to, like, someone give you orders and you march them out, right?
No, a terrorist attack is something that's going to instill terror. I think this got some terror going on.
Yeah.
You know, and the cause he did it for was his ISIS cause,
Yeah,
whatever
I don't know
that be.
about
There's
all
so
that.
many different factors of the
Something's coming on.
Islamic
Whoa, yeah.
you know, so, yeah. And there was definitely, the way we categorize terrorist attack, there's more than 3 people being killed. They did that. This was
So I understand, as as categorizing it, it was terror, definitely terror, but
Terrorist.
I'm looking at it as terrorist. It's not an ISIS terrorist attack.
Yeah, he said he was doing this for ISIS, so this makes it the category under ISIS terrorist attack.
Yeah, and ISIS.
He was investigated by the FBI for terrorist kind of propaganda and stuff, and they said that, you know, they didn't.
I get it though. So
I think what they really said was, we don't have the manpower to waste on this because he doesn't seem to be a threat.
Nope.
And then they
Not
just
even
backed
mad.
off him and everything, and he turned out to be the biggest threat we had in
Could you look up
history.
to see how many Muslims are in America? Because I like to know that. I like to know that question because
Well, how many Muslims?
yeah, because the manpower.
Was this?
I'm thinking about like at the end of the day, if I was to run out here right now, and not saying I will, I won't. I'm not even cuffing that cloth. I go kill, what I mean, a number of people, and I say voice of the voiceless. That's a terrorist attack because yes, I caused terror, and I pledged an allegiance to why you feel me. I did that. But to be truthful, anybody can do that, and anybody can say anything. So terrorist attacks, I'm thinking yes, or going. You know what I mean?
I'm lost in.
I'm just saying. Prior to yesterday, to our conversation, I know you're switching speeds because yesterday you was more about the individual than him
I'm
pledging an
still
alliance
about
to
the
ISIS.
individual, but we're addressing your question.
And that's what I'm saying. So if he's crazy, ISIS ain't pushing him to do nothing. If he's
No.
crazy, being Muslim in Islam, it wasn't the cause of what he did. And then to find out later, yesterday, after the game, the news is showing he frequented the gay club that he shot up. He was there a number of times. They thought he was gay. He was on gay dating sites. So
That was called reconnaissance.
yeah, but that was the recon. And do you understand? So you've been in this club before. You're in the like.
So, Truth, you saying that was a way of him like trying to gather information or because like
Yeah.
So you're saying it was a ISIS attack, but they targeted a Pacific gay club. So this is not more of a like
No.
of like somebody that's against gay people.
No,
I
I think this guy was crazy. I think he didn't like gay people. I think gay people was the thing that actually set his madness into motion. And then I think because he had been subjected to some kind of
Abuse.
techniques or whatever it is that the terrorists use to try to bring people into their army and stuff. That incident with the two men kissing in front of his son,
Probably set it off.
Just set him off.
And when he went to do recognizance from that, like, yo, what? Oh, I'm doing some research on you. I don't think it had anything to do with his religion or ISIS. He seen that was disrespectful. He said, oh, okay, y'all really think y'all can do whatever y'all want in this world, and y'all can't because I'm crazy.
Well, I think he said something like, you don't want his son to grow up and be like this or
And
something. It was just madness that came out of these two men kissing, and because of the way he felt and the implicit biases that he had. And you can tune in to Archangel on Wednesday because we'll be talking about implicit biases.
Yeah, like that.
That this man, he just went and he lost it. But he didn't lose it in the fact of going around tearing his clothes off, running down the street and saying, "Help me, I'm an angel" or something like that. No, he lost it in because of his job and security, I think, and because of his always wanting to be a police officer, he did his homework and he picked out this club Pulse, which was supposed to be one of the oldest and well-known gay frequented clubs. And he went down there and he reconned the whole place. He knew the ins and outs, the doors, the bathrooms, and all these things like that. So he did his recon in there, and then he went down and bought 2 guns, which is really crazy. He should have never done. But here's what is the most confusing thing to me, and I think this shouts a whole lot to his madness. I could be wrong why this happened. I could be wrong. This isn't even part of it. But the 3rd gun, he had a gun as a security guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
He went and bought 2 more guns to use for his event of killing people like that. But he didn't take it. It seemed like he didn't take his work gun.
Yeah, see, with
It's
that,
like
I meant to do some
just
research yesterday.
madness.
I meant to do some research yesterday about that to see if there was there a 3rd gun.
In the car.
I didn't hear about the 3rd gun, but I actually thought the security job that he had nothing to do with weapons.
I thought it had a weapon in it from what the guy he was
Nah,
They
they
was
said.
talking about-
Well, I think what ended up happening, him being a security guard, ended up helping him purchase firearms.
Oh, he just purchased a firearm, cause down there you can go purchase the firearm. The background check isn't that
Yeah,
rigid.
it isn't.
So
What do you mean not rigid? You go see the FBI 2 times for being a possible terrorist. Oh, here's a gun.
That's what exactly happened. He wasn't on the terrorist watch list anymore. He wasn't on the no-fly list. So that took him off of all the lists, so he became eligible to go buy a gun.
So is this a gun control issue then?
All kinds of
control.
issues like that, because
So-
it's a political year.
I mean,
Yeah, right.
I don't know what it has to do with political year if it's.
Because people
we're talking
platform.
discussing. We're talking about discussing the gun that was used, like a semi-automatic weapon.
Yeah.
And do we
Yeah.
need semi-automatic weapons as Americans?
not-
Like, do we need that as a
No.
necessity?
Do you know what they did?
That's
with-
why I said that I don't know what it has to do with the election or election year, because this could have happened 3 years ago. We still probably would have been talking about gun control.
Yeah.
I watched the craziest program on, I think it's Guns and Ammo channel. AR-15s are called sporting rifles. They're not semi-automatic weapons anymore. They changed the language so anybody in the world can buy an AR-15. It's called the sporting rifle.
It's
And you can modify it so crazy
Should we-
that it can spit out 100.
Should those sporting rifles be allowed to have? Should we,
And to be truthful, should it be allowed to? I'm of the yoke of when somebody posted that we need to take it back to to this OK Corral where everybody's carrying, because now you really can't play around with people. You know what I mean? Because you can't sit there and think that you can harm people without no repercussions. You know, not to say that we gotta go back and we do need. If one has a gun, everybody needs a gun. And it's not like, and right now the way it is certain people can have guns legally.
A gun's different. Even if you go back to the OK Corral days, like you can probably get off and be able to shoot 12 people with like a capacity gun you can have, with like something that can
rifle,
shoot
yeah.
30 rounds. Like, I mean, that gives more of an opportunity for somebody to kill or mass shooting like this to happen. You know what I mean?
But the whole thing that really, it just bothers me a little bit too. Everybody talks about killing like it's something that you do before breakfast.
Desensitized, yeah.
You know, this is really a traumatic type of event and stuff like that. I hate killing people. I really do.
But it's
nice
becoming
thing.
way more common though.
Yes,
Like,
and
I mean, I don't think we would
Yeah,
be
but-
talking about it if this was happening. Like, I mean, we're just not far away from the Newtown shooting. The Dalen roof in the church. Like, these things are happening consistently.
Yeah, but I know the terrorist that, but he's advocating that everybody carry a gun and stuff like that. Everybody can't shoot people. It's not nice to shoot people.
But you know
People
that
kind of
person-
scream, yell, and put blood all over you and start falling and guts come all on out and everything. It's not a very pretty. They call for their mama and and lay and roll around on
I
the
don't
ground.
still see your point of
Yeah.
that. You're saying everybody can't shoot people. Like, I don't
They
really
won't
get
be the
point
ones getting
with
shot.
this topic. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really see all that.
My topic is
If everyone was to have a gun,
If
you're saying everybody's
everybody's
not going to
out
shoot people, but
carrying
that
a
would
gun-
put people at they'll be alert. You can't just walk into this radio station right now and open fire on us, and you know what I mean? Because we all have guns. He'll hit me, he'll hit you, but y'all pull out and kill him. And not to say that you're right. People just can't, people aren't built like that to be shooting, but those people will know their place. They won't be out there trying to express their, their feelings of differences and not liking and attaching that to, I don't like you, I'm gonna kill you. You know what I mean? I don't understand
But
your
no,
differences.
But no, I
Here's the
think
whole thing.
there'll be more of, you know what, I don't like you, so I'm gonna kill you. Like, I might get killed in the process because somebody else is shooting, but like, it'll be easier for me to shoot and kill somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My thing is, you got guns. So why give guns to these people and not give them to that people? You know?
my thing is,
I hear you.
why is this country kind of wanting to think that everybody's got a sick mind and that everybody's going to be out there and shoot people? It ain't going to happen, for one. Shooting people like us is not very nice. It is not a nice thing to do. And then those people that are out there that do have some kind of craziness running around with them and stuff, they might shoot somebody because you're standing in line and somebody cut in front of you. You carrying a gun. What are you
Yeah.
carrying a gun? Guns, they can't do anything but kill people. and put holes in parts of your body and stuff like that. That's all they're designed for. AR-15, we had those in Vietnam. It's designed to kill. That's all it's designed to do.
But
It don't cook.
The NRA
It don't
changed the
cook. I
language.
tried to make popcorn on it and stuff. It didn't make no popcorn.
Listen, I tried to make popcorn on it.
Oh, but it could kill. But you know, you take a Jiffy Pop over the top of it after the muzzle heats up. It ain't gonna cook it.
Well, I know right now they have a shooting like a shooting contest with the AR-15 that now kids are in. Like it's big. The AR-15 is a sporting rifle that is used now for competition and contests with little kids shooting.
AR-15 used to be the gun that was issued to the people who didn't have the AR-16, which was issued to the regular infantrymen. Everybody else who was in different kind of special type of branches of the service was you could be issued an AR-15 because it only had one purpose: put big giant holes in you. That's it. Knock you down and stuff. And it was designed to kill because during the Vietnam War, there was some myth going around that the Viet Cong could tie up their vital spots and everything and run at you, and you could shoot them, and it wouldn't bother them. Kind of like the same kind of thing that everybody puts myths out like.
So
Iron shirt and all this stuff.
So the truth you're saying, because you know there's not that many crazy people that we're glorifying on the media and everything. So you think there should be no more gun control? You think it's good where it's supposed to be at?
I think gun control is a problem that should have been addressed a long time ago. Once we got out of the stage of where we were agricultural and lived way out in the rural areas and had to not just defend ourselves against people encouraging on your home and hurting your family, but they used it for feeding themselves, for hunting and stuff. Once we left that age behind, there's no need for somebody who lives in a high-rise apartment to own a gun. What are you gonna do? Push the elevator button with it? I mean, it's just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then I don't particularly advocate for anybody having a gun, but we're in a gun culture. People out there, they get all their machismo by owning a gun. Men own gun, women own gun. Little 5-year-old kids get to learn to shoot gun. Little 6-year-old girls, I don't know how old that girl, she gets to shoot the instructor. You know, it's like, that's how silly people are. Give a gun that's got a powerful kick to it to a little child and get upset when she puts holes in you.
I've always thought the gun issue was a messed up issue for black people, black and brown people, because most of us can't own guns.
Can't own guns.
Like even in Worcester, Chief Jem, which is, I guess he's not the chief anymore. Yeah, he retired, right, Chief Jem?
Yeah, he's retired.
Yeah, so now it's like Steve Sargent or whatever. But Chief Jem in Worcester, according to where you live, you cannot get a gun according to where you live. So you live in a poor part of the neighborhood, you won't have access to get a gun.
Can't have a gun.
So that's just one of the things about guns control that I was like always like, it's always a biased thing, and like, you know,
That's
the way
crazy.
who gets a gun, who don't get guns, but like overall it's like in America I guess you kind of like need a gun for safety.
I seen what is
But
yeah, it's crazy. I seen
unfortunately I can't have a gun.
a Connecticut State Trooper this morning, and oh my God, he had to have at least 100 things on his belt. It was like two guns. It was like 2 guns, 2 stun guns, 3 cup. I'm like, yo, what the? Like, it looked like his belt. It was a little dude too. Was bigger than him. I'm like, yo, how did And it was just nuts. I'm like, yo, wow. And that's another thing. Like, if you can't police without weapons, what are you really doing? What protecting and serving are you doing? If protecting is, I need a gun to protect.
Well, this culture's out of control now. Like, bad guys get guns anytime they want to.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can stop fooling themselves. Just because you can't go in the store and buy
And buy
one,
one,
you can't
yeah.
have a half a dozen.
And it's the police who, and that's the crazy thing. A couple years ago, the 2 FBI agents that got caught for putting all those guns in the streets. Police putting guns in the streets. So there's guns everywhere. And
I mean, I don't want to badmouth police.
I'm not badmouthing them,
but the gun control thing, and like this incident, something does have to happen. Some some common sense changes to the law. I mean, like maybe you have to take a mental health evaluation every 6 months, or maybe you have to like get trained how to lock your gun up and safeties in the house. Like a lot of kids will find a gun in the house and end up shooting somebody. Like all these things that need to fix with this gun control. I'm not saying take people's guns away, but like some changes need to be done. And I don't know why people don't be wanting to agree with that part. Like,
well, and I know way back, I had to be in like 5th, 4th grade. I remember St. Lucy's in New York, and they gave us the whole history of guns and how right now, who's responsible? There's somebody responsible. The organization, the NRA is responsible right now for how guns are actually manufactured, modified, and even given to people.
They have a lot of power within the government. They control a lot of politicians and stuff like that. So they're gonna get their rules their way.
Their way. So how can you know what I mean? How can we even have this talk about gun policy without the biggest lobbyist or controller of gun laws at the table? So if the NRA, whatever pretty much they say, goes.
Well, the problem with gun control is it wasn't controlled when you had a handle on it. It's out of control. You can't bring it back and now say, okay, now we're going to have gun control, and from this point forward we're going to have severe background checks and everything. And all you people that got like 4 or 5 lockers full of guns, we're going to have a gun turn it in day, and we're going to give you a nice little $25 gift certificate to this place where you can buy food. It just doesn't
called
make
gun buyback program?
Yeah, the gun buyback program. It's not make any sense.
Get some sneakers. They doing that in Chicago.
Now the funny thing is when they have the hood cats, like, yo, we'll bring guns. No hood cats trying to bring no gun down there. Like, they're trying to get the guns on the street. Next thing you know, they're just getting all the guns from like Technic areas. Like,
Yeah.
like that's not.
And they gave out these food vouchers to place where people in the city don't shop.
Wegmans.
And it's like they don't shop there. But it's out of control. All they can do now is research the difference between the good gun owners and the bad gun owners. But how do you distinguish who's the good gun owner and who's the bad gun owner?
It got to be. I don't care if it's a list of a million things. It has to be a list.
It doesn't make any difference. If you buy a gun, someplace in your psyche you say, oh, I'd like to shoot somebody to see what will happen. Because guns don't do anything else. Like I said, you cannot.
It's not like
People, this is a fact. You cannot take Jiffy Pop and hold it over the muzzle of a heated gun and shake it and make popcorn. It won't work. Guns can only kill people. They shoot little projectiles out the end of it. That's all it does. You point it at people, they put holes in them. It can't cook no popcorn. So
this
it's useless to me. I like popcorn.
So this Orlando massacre. This dude was born in Afghanistan.
Who?
Omar.
American citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was born in.
Yeah. I might say his parents were born in Afghanistan.
Yeah, and that's the new thing. His dad is saying it's the security's fault. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Security's fault.
Yeah, that's the latest I heard this morning.
Yeah, his dad said
Interviewed his
security
dad
at the
again,
club.
and he's saying that it's the security at the club's fault.
Yeah, I guess they gotta take some blame for it, right?
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
a club.
I don't know whether they didn't have Rambo at the club. Did they have that night?
I would call the clubs, clubs, malls, all kinds of restaurants and eateries soft targets. You can't stop people from going in there. If you got the money to pay at the door, you go in. Unless, you really look strange and you're foaming at the mouth or something like that, then so you can't go in there. But if you make the age requirement, go in the club. Just like the restaurant. You want to go in the restaurant, you go in the restaurant.
You said something about the gay community coming out.
Yeah, I'm impressed with them all over America.
Why are you impressed with them?
I'm impressed by the number of these gays that's just
All
out
over,
there.
yeah.
I'm like, damn.
They out there.
There's a huge amount of gays.
Let me ask you guys something.
He said, but see, no, they all ain't gay though. They just they might be supporters.
That's okay.
Let me ask you guys
That's
something.
okay. But 5 years ago, that wouldn't have happened.
Nah, right.
No, they'd still be
5
protecting
years
their
ago,
image.
that wouldn't have happened.
A lot of them
Yeah.
people would be
It was still
protecting
closet.
their
It was
image.
closet, yeah, they were in
They're
the
still
closet.
better in the closet.
5
Maybe
years ago was too
longer,
early.
but I'm just, maybe
You said
longer,
5
but
years
not
is too
too,
early?
not too
Just
far
to
in
say
the
something
past.
like that, I mean, maybe like, I mean, the culture, the gay culture been going, like, showing themselves for, like, mad long, to me, in my eyes. Like, I think they would have been out in numbers if this happened 5, 10, 15 years ago.
I know, I don't like,
But
not numbers like that. Well,
other,
it's
other,
out
than,
there.
other than that, let me ask you, so because this is tied to terrorism and Muslim, and so this is like, you think Republicans, Donald Trump will try to use this to
Of
try
course
to
he is.
get gay people to vote for him?
Yeah, I think Donald Trump's gonna just be Donald Trump. He's gonna have a party with this.
Mhm.
Because his whole doctrine is crazy anyway. So he's building walls all over the place, putting up fences. They let Muslims in. You know, it's like this guy's born in his town, Queens. It's like he might be his cousin. I
That's deep.
don't know. Yeah, they might be related. Who knows?
I
Check that
don't know if the
DNA.
gay population will like take this in, like, you know what, we're a Muslim terrorist groups are trying to attack gay people.
I don't think
maybe they vote for Trump. I don't know.
I don't think the gay population or any real population out there thinks that the Muslim people in America have any kind of wish to hurt any other kind
Hold
of
up, you said
group in
any
America.
population?
Yeah.
What? He's saying, like, the right wing politics, the people that supports that side definitely believe Muslims are here to attack Americans. That's just been
I
saying.
don't-
Donald Trump's people, like the people who support Donald Trump, like Donald Trump believes that himself.
I think Donald Trump's just playing the game, and this is the doctrine that he was using his platform for getting votes, or not even getting votes, just to get attention.
Yeah,
I don't think he even thought he was going to get this.
Attention
far.
seeker. Well, he didn't.
Just to have fun.
They talked about his campaign manager in the prelims. It was a game to him. He says when he started to see that he was getting all these votes, he didn't even know what to do. So it started off as, yes, let me just play around with it, and now look. But it's crazy.
And he attacks Mexicans just as quickly as he attacks Muslims. It's
Women.
like,
And I think he really believes what he's saying about both of those groups. And I think a lot of the people that support him and vote for him believe that. So the same.
oh,
that
they
it's saying,
might too.
Yeah.
And what are you
saying,
talking about,
You
the
don't think there's
stereotypes?
no group that believes that
The stereotypes,
Muslims-
Nate?
Like you said,
He's talking about
you don't
implicit
think
bias.
that. Yeah, you don't listen by. You don't think that there's a group of people who think Muslims are here
Yeah, you're right,
to
yeah.
attack Americans, and that's just crazy.
Yeah, you do got a whole bunch of them that are scared right
Of
now.
course, man.
That are scared. They looking at you got old people that looking at Muslims like, or not even Muslims. Some who could be looking like they're from, because now Muslims, and that's the crazy thing. Muslims aren't just Middle Eastern descent. So you got white Muslims, you have black Muslims, you have a whole bunch of Muslims that
Well,
don't
you
just
look like a
Islamic phobia been going on for a long time.
Yeah, so
Ever since
you got
9/11.
people who are just saying how somebody looks now and
Before
is
that.
just being scared because they're like, oh, I don't know what's going on.
You look like a Muslim to me.
How? Because of my beard?
Yeah, you got the beard, you got
I
the
shave
brown
it
skin.
off. I gotta shave it off then.
You got that brown skin.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. How
You
do
gotta
you
shave
look
it
like
off,
a
then.
how do you look
Why
like
you
a
gotta shave it
Muslim?
off?
though?
That's it.
You know what I mean? There's just no such
There's
thing.
No way
No
to
such
look
thing.
like a
yeah.
Muslim. Just like how do you look like a
Yeah, I
Catholic?
was just playing niggas.
I know, but yeah, I look like a Catholic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you look like a Catholic.
And that's what it is. It's like
Yeah.
the differences. People
And how do you look like the Protestant religion? Got like 400 or 500
different looks, right?
They get real confusing there. So
Yeah, so
we need to sell T-shirts so that they all can have
I have a T-shirt that say what they what faith they practice.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go quick bumper break.
I know Will do it.
And we got the Rebel Will. It look like Buddha though.
It look like the Buddha though.
Back, second half of the show is the second half. You know, what do you still want to talk about this? The London show?
I would like to change it up into mental health issues and stuff. I think that if we really want to put our money someplace, we should really start, looking at people with mental health issues, and not just the periphery mental health issues where the drug companies can make money by prescribing all these things for, oh, well, he's bipolar, he got bipolar, he got bipolar, he got bipolar. And they do it so fast that they, oh no, that's his pet. That's his dog right there. Well, he got bipolar anyway. And they just
I know the Chris Rock is like, are you mad? Are you angry? Are you hungry? Are you sad? It's like, you got a pill for that, whatever. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Are you too happy?
too happy, yeah.
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 Definitely is a mental. I think we gotta look at that too, like, but we gotta get away from the stigma. I think we do have a lot of services out there, but people individually don't want to get the help because they feel like if you're going to see a psychiatrist, whatever, there's something wrong with you or you're crazy, whatever.
Yeah.
So there's a stigma on it. So I think we do have a lot of services out there. Of course, we can need more, but people don't take advantage of the services that's out there too as well.
No, they don't.
Identify it, you know.
Yeah, because it seemed to be relegated now to a poor section. You know, well, poor people get to be crazy, but rich people they still hide it because they can't be crazy because they're aristocratic, so they know more than we do. They're smarter or something like that.
No, they just got affluenza.
Yeah, but they can't be crazy. And there's a whole lot of cultures that coming in from other countries where there's a real heavy-duty stigma, like Nate said, on having some kind of mental difficulty, you know. So
I mean, like a lot of kids be suffering with like post-traumatic stress. Like, let's just take Chicago for example. You see somebody get shot out there, or whatever, or one of your friends get shot, and you go into school, whatever, and you go to school with the kid, and like you walk past his locker, whatever, and he's not there no more. That does something to your mind psychologically, and like that's what person might need help before it gets worse, and like it gets like start getting paranoid. Schizophrenia, these things will start happening when things like that don't get addressed.
and they're not getting help because what they're getting, instead of getting in guidance counselors in school, they're getting police officers with Batman belts. You know?
Seriously.
And that's the crazy thing, because that's the correction to crime. Just like right now, the correction to mental health is pharmaceuticals, not therapy.
Yeah.
And it's just the easy road. So what is it? One path, two choices. It's like, when are we gonna stop? Buying into this pill for everything that's wrong, or you know what I mean? How do you stop it? How do you say, listen, let's do some therapeutic stuff. Let's go see a psychologist and let's give yourself time to talk. Figure it out.
I think that a lot of the stuff is, first, let's not make just because somebody stubbed their toe and said "ow" in a foreign language that he's crazy. Just because you don't understand the word that he uses to say "ow" doesn't mean that he's crazy. He's speaking of some made-up language.
Can I say something, please?
Sure, go ahead. Put the camera on.
No, I'll put on something
Got
else.
Truth News, 5 o'clock shadow.
5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, thank you. So the problem with mental health, the differences between being rich and having a mental health issue and being poor is on TV. When you see someone with a mental health issue, rich, they're laying on the couch and they're dressed up in their suit and the doctor's talking to them and they're almost talking about their love life and everything. That's how they're portrayed for rich people. For poor people, just like in this room, when we describe them as crazy, crazy, crazy. No one ever describes people who are rich that have mental health issues as crazy. Even to Sopranos, I don't know if you ever watched The Sopranos. Tony Soprano, he had anxiety disorder and everything. He went to go see Dr. Melfi. And he wasn't treated like that. He was still the head of the crime family and still glorified as being a real intelligent guy. It is a bad stigma that they put on people, and you have to be careful because some people almost like they're not taking it. Like someone said, they're not taking advantage of it. Well, some people they have depression where it's hard to even get out of bed. And it's hard to, and they think it's not going to work. I'll go. It's almost like why black people don't help other black people because they don't believe in it. So you go to a psychiatrist, talk to him, and you still have that depression. You don't feel like it's working, so you don't want to go back.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing, and within having kids come back or people go back, black people go back to the psychiatrist has to do a lot with picking the right psychiatrist too. Because sometimes you got to pick one that you can relate to, that you kind of like build a relationship with. And you're right, it's not a here's a pill and you're fixed overnight thing. You know what I mean? Or it's not like a day thing and you're cured. It's like you gotta really work on that.
And we've been working with the doctors with Mosaic that even still, as a client of a psychiatrist, I don't think that patient would be like, oh, the client to say this doctor, this psychiatrist ain't good for me. You can't even get people to say that they're doctors, that they go see for physicals and checkups. You know what I mean? Who talk over them where they don't even understand. You know what I mean? They can't even change that doctor. Where the doctor is just trying to prescribe you a pill and get you out that office in 15 minutes. To where that relationship, the authoritative figure, and this doctor's telling me what I need to know, and you're not even able to articulate it to the doctor what's wrong with you, or even ask the doctor, I don't get it, what are you talking about? You just, take these 2, take these 3 pills, take these 4 pills once a day, that's, and that's just...
You don't even get to see the doctor, you get to see a counselor. It's just like when you go get a physical, you get to see some nurse.
No.
And then they objectify. I know they objectified me because I was doing a clinical study up here, and I had to go to the go there and get all checked out and take all these blood shots and take the needles and everything. And she would give me the needle right nice, boom, just putting it in there. And then she looked at my age on the thing. And this was the last needle. I already had about 3. She started rubbing the shoulder. Oh, now, don't worry, this is going to hurt a little bit. All of a sudden, I was an old people guy.
I didn't took 3 shots. Oh, I didn't know he was that old.
You just grab that needle and you just jam it right in there. It's like this is what happens.
She was trying to comfort you. I don't really gonna get it.
Well, she'd already just put the needle in there 3 times already. And then on this last shot, it's going to rub my shoulder and stuff like it's going to hurt.
Well,
it really hurt before.
You took three of those joints, man. Like the last one, I don't know.
But I was trying to relate that over to mental health issues.
Yeah.
You go into the hospital with depression and stuff like that, they're going to look at you like you have some kind of depression. You might. What is this depression? What brought the depression on? They're not addressing that. They're trying to find out. Okay, you got depression. Okay, this is a mild form of depression, so here's the mild form of some kind of drug that's going to make you feel a little better or put you to sleep, I don't know. But they don't address why you got the depression. Sometimes they say, well, you're depressed because you have bipolar. But how did I get bipolar? I didn't have bipolar yesterday. I was happy. Well, that's a sign because you were happy yesterday. Now you're sad. So you got
Yeah.
So they don't. So they never address They don't addressing the issue of why somebody is depressed, especially a poor person. He might be depressed because he ain't had food in a couple of days.
Well, a lot of times too, though, like the doctor will provide an out service for you to go to kind of get a psychiatrist, whatever, and you gotta follow up on your appointments. A lot of people will have that from a doctor. They're like, all right, cool, after this, you gotta go see the psychiatrist this X amount of days, whatever. Let me know if the medication is doing this or doing that to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of part has to do with a lot of the individual that's going to get the help and getting the treatment, but it's all about support. And if you're more poor and you're living in a poor neighborhood and like say if you're eating's a problem, you're trying to get your next meal, you're probably not going to think about your next appointment that you got to go to if you're looking about food.
That's exactly what's going to happen. You got a job, say, I can't be taking off from my job. I need to eat. I need to pay the rent.
Yeah.
I don't even make enough money to pay all the rent and get all the food. So, all right, enough of that. I got these pills and stuff like that. I'll just stretch them out, And then the next thing you're thinking about, well, I could get this same pill on the street for cheaper. So now you're going out there and you ain't going back to the doctor because you can get old pill on the street for cheaper, and you're believing that this is helping you with your depression, and your depression may have came from the fact that you were hungry on that day and you weren't feeling good because you had the rent was due and the electric bill was due and the heating was due, so you didn't have enough money to have a variety of food, so you was eating the same food for 7 days. And you never liked that food in the first place, so kind of makes you a little bit depressed. You're worrying about how you're going to feed your family, how you're going to feed yourself, how you're going to clothe your family. You know, what's the stigma it's going to put on my kids if, and this, that, and the other thing? Well, they think that I'm inadequate to be the man or to be the woman to supply, you know, give for their comforts and stuff.
And what
Mental
about,
illness got a
yeah.
big problem.
And what about the person that pops a pill for every emotion? You know,
Oh,
I'm too
yeah.
happy, or I'm depressed right now. I need an upper. All right, I'm anxious right now. I need a downer.
Yeah,
you know,
I call them the middle class housewife.
the middle class. Yeah, that's
Wow.
what we do. That's deep. But that's crazy.
A lot of middle class. They're trying to live some lifestyle that doesn't exist, and then they're trying to transition into a way of life that does have some newness. The whole world's changed around a bit here and stuff. So they're at home, and then when their kids go off to school, you know, they got that empty house syndrome or something like that starting. You know, they got all these hours where there's nothing left to do. You can only clean the house so long. And if you got good money up there in the middle class, you don't need to clean the house. You got someone coming in.
Someone doing it.
You know, so they feel they can easily get depressed because they're bored.
Yeah, ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah.
Well, they.
So you know what? Still a quick number break. Mental health. I mean, it's like if you suffering from mental health, even like I'd say rest in peace to the people in Orlando.
Yeah.
Like even the people that got wounded and the family members of the people who died and the victims that died and the people who got injured. Go seek counseling and if you're struggling with depression right now, because that might happen.
Yeah.
And just everybody, don't have a stigma where it's a bad thing to say.
No,
The same way you work your body out and get muscles, the same way you should work on your mind.
And if you got a good friend,
I would like to come. Go ahead, Drew.
yeah, and if you got a good friend and everything, go over their house and have a cup of tea.
Talk to him, right? Go over there and talk to him.
Talk to them, have a cup of tea. So
Wow.
The power of a good friend is really powerful. People just don't understand how powerful a good friend could be. Not just anybody, but somebody that you really consider as a good friend. Somebody say, yeah, that person really got my back. You go over there and just have a cup of tea sitting down with that person and everything. You're going to leave out of there feeling a little bit to a whole lot better, man. That good friends really have a way of making people feel good.
And if you're in Massachusetts, like Nate's talking about, and you have Mass Health, if you have health insurance, you're eligible to go see a clinical psychologist. And that's another part of the culture. That pride.
Yeah.
Because
Pride.
it took a long time for me to say, let me go see a shrink. And a lot of people can't man themselves up to go, let me go see a shrink.
Alright. So we're going to quick
See,
break.
great.
I'm glad.
Oh.
Take Mike, do stuff quick. Go back to that.
Say Mike J. Thriller, Mike Talk a lot, Mike Camera Action, I'm gonna do
Alright, when we come back, we're going to talk about the $100 million 20-year urban revitalization plan that's going down Main Street, Main South area. They didn't include a certain part of Main Street, and we're going to talk about it. And guess what? That's the poorest part. That's where brothers and sisters at. No, come on. Let's go right back. 91.3 WCW. I want you to talk about this topic. Say Mike, MJ Thriller, Mike Talk a Lot, Action, Mike Cameras.
Hey, listen, man. Today is just the first step, and so what they got going on. If you've been going through Worcester, you got it's a real good look for Worcester, man. If you're a Worcesterite, you love Worcester like I do. I'm really happy to see downtown looking like that, man. For as long as I didn't think that they were going to develop the city, and I love Worcester. I'm glad to see it. However, it's gentrification like a mom, yo. Like they making this nice and pretty for white people and the elite. I'm not gonna say it's totally white, but it's not for the people of Worcester that have been living here, that have been enduring the status quo. And so as this development goes on, they've invested a whole bunch of money downtown in Hanover Insurance and the colleges, mainly in MCPHS, but Becker's down there now, Quinn Sage's down there. And then combined with the city, there's a lot of investment downtown, and that's North Main Street. So South Main Street, that North Main Street consists of when Chandler crosses Main Street and turns to Madison Street, from Madison to Federal Square, That's Highland Street, that little intersection down there where the auditorium was, or is, and the police station. That's North Main Street. And then South Main Street is from Hammond to Webster Square, and that's Clark University and Maine South CDC. And you see all the development going on there. And it's not a lot of inclusiveness, opportunity for people of color and the residents to gain or have access to that wealth and that development that's coming through, the finances that's coming through. And so what they've done is Main Street is the main artery. They invested in North Main Street and South Main Street and left, you know, I call it like the anus of the city. Like this is where they funnel all their crime. I've had police officers disclose this is the tactic, the strategy that they use to funnel the criminal element. They push it all to Main Middle, which is between Madison and Hammond. And they've chosen in this $100 million that come down the pipe over 20 million years to not include Main Middle, the actual area that needs the most investment. And if you look on the city site, you go to the map, you'll see that the area of development has actually been redlined, which is actually a breach of like federal law. You know, redlining, if you're familiar, redlining is how they created ghettos. And lo and behold, this is what we have here, ghetto. They drew a line on the map, and a red line that said, hey, don't invest in this, no loans, no school loans, no business loans, no personal loans. They can only be buyers, they can't be sellers, right? And then so there's no investment in the community, you get degradation in the community, you get Main Middle. You see all the people on dope nodding off, the prostitution, the gang shootings. That's not by chance. That is over decades of lack of investment. And they've continued to do that. They decided to continue to do that with this urban revitalization plan. And so, us being the men who we are responsible for our community, in line with our OCOPI initiative, which is to obtain political power, this fell from the sky and said, hey, you know, like this is a $100 million opportunity that they're not including you in, and this, you know, there's some support on holding them accountable for it. So, but it's a procedure. And so today we're asking people at 4:30 to get down to City Hall and simply come out, state your name, and say, I want Main Middle included in the city's URP, the Urban Revitalization Plan. It's the first step and a number of responses that the Medical Health Think Tank is prepared to engage in, but we want to make this, the first thing we want to do is leverage public support into city support, and that will ultimately result in financial justice and community economic development in the Main Middle community.
Question.
Today, 4:30, please.
Be there, B Square, City Hall. Question, is that the only revitalization plan in the city?
Currently it is, but over the last 5 years, they've had like 6 or 7, and and none of them has targeted
Of course.
Main Middle.
Or even, let's say what, Plumley or Lincoln Village or...
There were a couple that was some like, I can't remember, I don't have it in front of me. Actually, it's on the city's website. There was 6 other plans, other projects, but none of them...
Because you think I'm thinking of urban, you talking about redlining before when it was legal. Just think where the red lines was when the Lord Clayton housings got tore up.
Right.
The redlining was right here. We're gonna throw them down into Coleman Street.
Right.
We're gonna put them. It's still the same thing. And those should be the ones who get the large chunk of this revitalization. Am I not right?
Well, the city has a legacy of breaking up the black community, making sure the black community has no nothing here.
Chip Joe.
Yeah, what's the further plan after this? I got confused. That was my original question was, what, we're having a rally, you say at 4:30, and what's the next step? But then I heard from Keith's question, this is 3 or 4 times that they've had this same type of thing, and 3 or 4 times, and it's still the same thing starts to be a habit.
Right, and the plans that they've had hasn't been to this magnitude, this scale. Like,
You're talking about 20 million.
right? No, 100
million. I'm like,
So they've had like 3 or 4 or 5 million here, there, but not 100 million.
Yeah.
So the way that this works is, and you see some of these like landlords around here that have done this. You go into areas of decadent and blight, right? That's how they term it.
Exactly.
Areas, right?
Decadent and blight.
Right.
Blight.
Yeah.
Blight is like an eyesore, like unkept, like ill, right?
Abandoned.
Like neglect, right? Like what you go out and you see here,
Slumlords, okay.
right? And so no, just the community though, right? And so you say somebody has to take a chunk of their money. You say, hey, I got some money. I want to develop this community right here, right? I want to develop this area. What they do then is their grants, city money, and you leverage your money with that city money. Then once you get that, guess what you can do? You can take that money and leverage it for state money. And then once you get that, guess what you can do? You can leverage it for federal money. Right?
So you
and at the end of the day,
taking-
you don't even end up using your money.
Your money, nah.
Right?
You're
But these are
losing-
things that we're excluded from by not being afforded the opportunity to be a part of this 20-year plan.
Yeah.
But we found a way in, and we know we're in. We just can't really, like, it's not wise for us to kind of like
Yeah, give up the secrets, nah. But I definitely like the
But-
component
but-
of
but what
strategy.
is it?
The strategy that, and it has to keep going because, and I applaud Mike for this, is we have to try to continue to bring the residents to the table of these big issues that are going right in front of people's faces.
This ain't new.
No, it ain't.
This is an old strategy that's been
They've been
redlining
doing
has been around
forever.
since they started gerrymandering back then, 17 something or something to that effect. You know, so this ain't new. This is way back when they first started to develop this country and stuff like that. And the tactics that they use for gentrification is the tactics that it seems to be doing right here. Look at this big problem we got right here. We're gonna build around this problem and we're gonna squeeze that problem, then we're
Right
gonna
out.
cut its head off. You know, that's the same gentrification that they used all over the place like that. That, you know, and it's bad, but you know, what's the next step? Getting the people out there to sign a piece of paper and stuff like that is a good first cause, but what's the next step? What are we gonna bring to try to
I
get that
can
money?
tell you the one thing that we're doing is you can't live in fear, right? So that like
No.
Keith was actually the one that came back with the initial report that there was like over 1,000 black millionaires or something like that. And we thought that was unbelievable. And I still haven't been able to verify the number, but at
American
that time,
Fact Finder.
right? But at that time, I didn't know any black millionaires, and over the last year, I've met 9. And so that's just black, right? There's wealth in the community.
Yeah.
If we can get them to, if we can mirror some of these other communities, other populations that have done it, consolidate our resources.
Get a plan.
And a plan,
ask for
but
that
with some
philanthropic,
access, though,
yes,
with some access.
And that's the hard part, though, is the access.
And so that's
What do we
that's
mean
the plan in a
access?
nutshell.
The
Access
city letting you.
and so when you have this $100 million like investment, right? That's an investment. There's going to be an ROI.
That's-
So they making $100 million. What does that mean? The ROI is what, $1 billion?
Yeah,
Half
yeah.
a billion. Right. So like that's things that's wealth that's going to accumulate here and develop here that we're not going to have any parts of. So that's what I mean by access. Like make sure that there are people of color, which means with a plan, with community support to share some of that wealth.
Yeah, but it's like that's the whole thing. If you what they gonna invest in?
Right now, what's this investing in
investment of the money going? What's the
That's-
money
you
investment?
can't know what you're
gonna
going to invest in until you get the people at the table.
No,
What's the
that's why
money?
the people, there's 1,000 millionaires and everybody else ain't got nothing. Because the millionaires ain't gonna invest their money unless they know they're gonna get something.
ROI.
This gonna work like this for me? This gonna make a profit for me? This. They're not gonna be doing it on a empathy type of feel good.
No,
notion.
it's not about empathy. The conversation is about dollars and cents. But not everybody's gonna come. For whatever reason you come to the table, you come to the table. But I would have to think that these people who've accumulated this wealth already, millionaires, they can get together collectively and come up with some grand ideas to make even more wealth.
For
To
themselves?
generate wealth. I mean, you can't just. I mean, that's a different topic here. I mean, but today we're asking 4:30. My name is such and such, whatever your name is, and then I'd like you, or we demand you to include Main Middle in the city's URP.
I was about to say.
1 minute.
And we said 1 minute?
Yeah.
How about ordering back the CDCs across America? Because I think that the CDCs, they have a big part of this whole revitalization. You know,
They should.
because their title is supposed to be, you know, community development, but it's that whole thing of let's try the gentrification, and you know, let's take this money that we have to.
There's bigger money coming down the line
Yeah.
because the infrastructure's falling apart. The bridges all over the place are falling apart.
The
Everything-
streets are.
Rather than fix them, they're gonna go around them and they're gonna build up new modern type of things because everything changed in the United States. The whole way of capitalism in the United States has changed. Except for the end factor.
And we
make these money.
need to be in on that curve. When that
We
changes,
should be
need to
in on that curve, you know? But to be in, you gotta know what you want.
We gotta be at the
Yeah.
table first.
Yeah.
Alright, we got 1 minute left, yo. Everybody that tuning in, that listening, thank you for listening. We out of here, 91.3 WCW.
And I'm gonna shout out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shout out to my lovely Laura and give her a happy anniversary. We had a happy anniversary just a few days ago. Big Will got a happy anniversary today. Yeah, I give a shout out to that. Give a shout out to my Mason and Max. Max graduated kindergarten. I think he stole the show and stuff like that. And Mason's working on his black belt in karate. And give a shout out to all special ops who
Shout out to my beautiful wife, Darlene. Shout out to Ya for a great show. Shout out to, I guess, Claremont for their graduation today. Shout outs to, a couple young men out there in Claremont, the young men in action.
And mine, shout out to him and my daughter Gabby. I'm coming to your graduation right now. I'm late.
I love that one. He's on the way.
Yeah, when we get
Hey,
some time
you
to
tell
talk.
Gabby, congratulations.
I hit you.
Tell her I say congratulations.
Okay, thank you. Oh, well, I'll be down. You're gonna be down there at 4:30, right? Yeah.